people wanting to eat it in that state. So how about the salmon you put up for your family?
We do quite a few things differently for salmon for people. First, we'll start with a higher quality salmon, like the king or my family fishes for the sockeye. Then we clean and bone that really well. My grandfather likes to follow this same cutting process, and he'll call that eating fish. But you can also cut the salmon into thin, vertical pieces called fish strips. Either way, when it's made for people, you soak it in a brine. That's salt-based, and you can add things like brown sugar and honey. And then after it's air-dried for just a little bit, it rotates inside the smokehouse just for 5 days to a week, so it has a softer texture. And we don't like to smoke our salmon the same time as the dogs either, because we like to use different woods. For people, we use a soft, sweet wood like cotton or alder, but for dogs, we'll just use whatever we can find, really. Spruce wood, driftwood, they're not picky.
Nah, I've never seen one that cared that much. But I want to remember that sweet alder smoke and the brining for us, for later, of course. And maybe, Danae, while we make our way upstream a little bit more here, could you tell us some about what we're going to see while we're in the village?
Absolutely. I'm excited to say that my fellow guides and I are glad to show you around the Chena Indian Village and share with you some of our culture. This village is a replica of the original Chena village that Captain Jim visited when he was running freight. When that village became inaccessible by boat, it largely ceased to exist. But because preserving the native heritage was so important to Captain Jim, he and his family created the living museum that you see here. This village contains some 100-year-old cabins and many cultural artifacts that were carefully relocated here from the original village. All of the replicated buildings were made by hand by native craftspeople using traditional tools and methods. Like this cabin right up front here. This is our post office. Now, despite the name, you can't actually mail anything from there, but that's where our statue of granite is, and where Dave Monson will be in about half an hour to personalize your granite books.
All right, well, he'll have some copies in there if people didn't get them on the boat. As far as the tour you mentioned, Danae, are we going to stick close to you or just walk around on our own?
Both, actually. So when you folks get on shore, we're going to divide you into groups and take you around to 3 stops here in the village. One of which will be at this cabin right up front with the moose. Don't worry if this isn't your first stop. Everyone gets to see everything here in the village. You're going to get an up-close look at our reindeer again, and the guides and I are going to teach you how the Athabascans survived here for over 10,000 years, and how we